This is...
Good morning. I'm Lucy Adeyemi. South African Airways seems to be well on its way to receiving another bailout after the National Assembly approved a 2018 special appropriation bill, which will allow the national carrier to access a lifeline of almost $400 million. The airline says it needs $1.5 billion to survive, while a little more than half of that amount is needed to cover maturing debt by March next year. Majority of opposition parties stand against the bailout and are calling for the sale of the airline. South African Airways has been struggling for a number of years and has received several bailouts in the past. But Deputy Finance Minister Mundli Gungubele says despite the struggles, the airline is on its way to profitability. This assessment is in sharp contrast to Finance Minister Tito Mbowene's recent statement at an investor conference in New York, where he described the national carrier as loss-making. He said at the conference they were unlikely to sort out the situation and suggested shutting down the airline. A United Nations internal probe shows that its refugee agency in Uganda wasted tens of millions of dollars last year, overpaying for goods and services, awarding major contracts improperly, and failing to avoid fraud, corruption, and waste. The audit by the UN's Office of Internal Oversight Services found multiple areas of mismanagement that were the responsibility of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, such as an $8 million contract for road repairs awarded to a contractor with no experience in road construction, and questionable payment to trucking and bus companies worth another $8 million. Tens of millions of transport-related invoices are still being disputed with contractors. The audit also found stockpile goods more laying idle than had been distributed in the previous 12 months, including 288,000 blankets and 50,000 wheelbarrows. In addition, 15,000 solar lamps worth almost $300,000 were found to have gone missing, and no proper investigation was done. We'll be back after this message.
MTN gives 2,000% bonus for reactivating your MTN SIM. That's right. If you haven't used your MTN SIM for 45 days or more, recharge now and get 2,000% bonus. That's right, 2,000% bonus for your first recharge of every month.
A top Chinese official says his country has no plans and has never thought of recolonizing Africa. Xu Yujian, China's ambassador for affairs of the Forum on Africa-China Cooperation (FOCAC) in the Foreign Affairs Ministry, said, contrary to such claims, China's aim is to pursue a mutual partnership with the continent. China has come under scrutiny lately by some African scholars and leaders in the political and civic space who feared the country was investing heavily on the African continent with an undeclared ulterior motive. Critics of China's deep pockets fear poor African countries' over-reliance and heavy indebtedness to China was unsustainable and will soon come back to haunt them. China has poured billions of dollars in funding into Africa for infrastructure projects and in grants, but signs of loan repayment stress are now showing in some of the poor countries. Analysts warned China was likely to hold the countries hostage to their own whims. At the conference on the Belt and Road Initiative and Industrialization Cooperation between China and Tanzania in Dar es Salaam, a Chinese Jew said his country has no political agenda on the continent. That's ANN News Brief. Thanks for watching. For details on these and other stories, visit our website, annafrica.net. Also join the conversation on Facebook, facebook.com/ANN Africa TV, Instagram and Twitter at ANN Africa TV. I am Lucy Adeyemi.